and we really, really, really appreciate you joining us this morning. And remind me at the end, Coach Meyer, we're going to give away some Rejuvenex this morning that our company creates, and it's for energy. If you have, some of you might not have had it, so it is really, really good. I'm gonna send somebody a bottle of this, but it's my happy vitamins in the morning. It's really, really good for energy. No calories, great clean energy. So we're going to give that away at the end. I promised I would yesterday. So as everybody's jumping on, I hope everybody has and is going to have an amazing Thursday. We're excited that you're on. And today's word, I love, and I picked it. And it's called mastery, okay? And when I picked this word today, it means a lot to me. And mastery is something that if you really look at the root or the definition, there's a couple of definitions of it, but I like to look to one that says control or superiority over someone or something, okay? Well, today, mine is going to be something, okay? Mastery over something. And, you know, I put this down and I actually talked to a couple of people, really a person that's really close and in my inner circle I talked to yesterday. And I was talking to about mastery late yesterday evening. And we both agreed that reflecting on ourselves, on our career, on our past, sometimes, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I've gotten caught up at times thinking that I had to be great before I started. Have you ever been there? Like, I've got to be good before I move. I got to know everything. And I get so caught up in that I don't even take the first step. And I'm just paralyzed by me not feeling like that I am fully mastery of that skill set or that moment that I'm wanting to flourish in. And so much so that I've watched myself take myself out of the game, not even make the first shot because I wasn't, you know, I didn't feel like I was at that mastery point. Does that make sense? And I've watched in my profession it happen to so many other people that sometimes you just got to be bad before you're good and good before you're great, you know? And I think about that. I think about the game of golf, okay? You know, I'm a coach. So I think about the game of golf, and I could be great at driving. I could be great at my irons, but then I get on the green and I am terrible at putting. Like, I am terrible at putting. So does that mean I quit playing golf? Or do I just hone in on what I'm terrible at, what I'm bad at? And I realize I got to be bad before I'm good and good before I'm great. And I got to hone in on that skill and work that skill every day that I'm bad at. And my game, my short game, my putting game will get better. Does everybody agree? And that's the way we got to look at things in life, at things in our profession, in my opinion. I know I do. I got a good friend named Rowdy Gaines. Really good friend, him and Judy. Went to Auburn University. And Rowdy was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. And I think so many times as adults, we look at people like that when they're winning the gold medal. They're standing up on the platform. They're getting the gold medal. And we're like, man, it must be nice to have mastered that art or that skill or that place. But what we don't see is all the bad they went through to get there. What we don't see is when they were bad before they were good. And we don't see a lot of times when they were just good. They wasn't great, but they were just good. So my message today is whatever it is you're wanting to grow at, whatever it is you're wanting to thrive at, just understand that you just got to you got to go after it. And I'm going to finish with this. I'm taking a little bit. I'm sorry, Coach. I'm going to bring it back to myself because I always like to. I started network marketing years ago. And as I was sitting in there, I was making a little money. I was having a little success. But one of my mentors, my number one mentor in this industry of network marketing, looked at me and he said, "Do you want to be $1 million earner?" And what do you say? "Yes, sir, Coach, I do." And he said, "You got to learn to recruit. You are terrible at recruiting." And I said, "You're right, I am. At this time, I hated to recruit anybody. I hated to talk to people about it. But I was making a little money." And he said, "You're terrible at that. But if you'll learn to recruit one person a month and you'll do it consistently in a year and let a year turn to 2 years, you can be $1 million earner in this industry. But you got to hone in on that skill and you got to master that skill." And I walked out of there and I thought, I'm looking at a guy that has made literally tens of millions of dollars in this industry telling me, "You can do it too, son, if you'll zone in on this and master the skill." And he looked at me and he said, "But you're going to be bad first, but you just got to take the shot and you'll get better. But you got to do it every day." And I went back. I remember getting on the plane, flying back home, and I said, I'm zoning in. I'm going to start talking to people every day. Do the things that I hate, and I'll get better at it. And today, I'm proud to say that year after year after year, I'm usually the number one recruiter in the company because I mastered that skill by just going after it, being bad before I was good and good before I was great. So that's my message on mastery today. I'm going to turn it to Coach. Thank you, Coach, for being here. I know you're extremely busy. Thanks for your time.
Oh, what a great message there, Coach Palmer. That was powerful. And if you know anything about Brent Palmer, you need to really evaluate and look at what he's done as far as mastering how to recruit. I think he could have been a great college football coach just because he's so good at recruiting. So anyway, good morning to everybody. I just, as a definition, and mastery is a comprehensive knowledge or a skill in a subject. That's kind of a strong, but here's the way I look at it. And I read an article about Cal Ripken Jr. actually just this morning. And he set the record for the most consistent in so many games. It was well over 2,000, I believe, wasn't it, Coach Palmer?
Yes.
Anyway, he always gave his father the credit for instilling in him about why that's so important to show up every day. He was talking about mastering the fundamentals. And so what he did, he said, if you do the little things 2 million times, the big things will follow suit. So I think that was it was kind of funny that I just flipped through and I was reading about, I'm a huge baseball, softball fanatic. And so when I read that about Kyle Ripken, I thought, you know what, that goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, mastering things. You think that was easy for him to play over 2,000 games without a break? Heck no. It's unbelievable. But it is really how you practice. So I just kind of wanted to start with that. And I've got, I always try to bring you several points a day. I've got 5 for you today. You got to break all of your tasks down into parts and make a practice plan. And in the field that we're all in on the call today, that's simply running the play. Break it down. In order to master it, you've got to break it down and then make your practice plan. And you got to follow it. And give each part of what you're doing your absolutely full attention. I'm like a dadgum squirrel and a rabbit in my head most days. I don't take medication for ADD, but I declare I am bad ADD. But because I got squirrels and rabbits running all the time and I can't stay focused on one thing sometimes. Well, that's when I get off track. I haven't mastered. When I get off track, I'm not mastering what it is that should be focused upon. So we got to give every part of what our ultimate plan is our full attention. Doesn't have to be long. You know, statistically, it says that every 15, 20 minutes, if you're into something big, you better take a break. If you want to retain anything, if you want to master it, if you're dug down deep into a project, walk away from it after 15 or 20 minutes, bring some refreshing thoughts to your head after that. And you know, one thing that Brent talked about today was he had talked to one of his mentors, which I think he would refer to that mentor as a master teacher. And, you know, I have master teachers. We all have master teachers in our life that we go to, you know, and it is so vital and important for us to get feedback from those master teachers. You know, if you want to grow, be willing to listen to somebody that you consider as a master teacher or your mentor. And here's another thing, and this is, I'll be honest with you, this was very difficult for me. It's very difficult for me on a daily basis. It's, you know, we can't, if we're going to grow and master something, we have to overcome our fear of getting out of our comfort zone. You cannot be afraid to stray out of your comfort zone. I think that probably affects all of us if we're real honest. And I have to work on that daily, weekly, you know, morning, afternoon, and night. I think you have to be able to do that. And then here's the last point, and maybe the most powerful one in all the ones that I've talked about is you got to work hard every day and maintain your motivation and enthusiasm. Work hard every day to maintain your motivation and enthusiasm. You know, that is speaking to me. Everything, like we say this all the time, is these things are so powerful for us when we present them to you. These are lessons that I need to hear for myself. And I just am thankful to have the opportunity every morning to share with all of you guys. But it's something we all have to work on. If we want to master something, we just have to work at it over and over and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And like Coach said, don't be scared of failing to get better. So that's kind of all I have. I appreciate this time with you guys every morning more than you know. And I hope that it brings value to you, and appreciate the opportunity with you, Coach, this morning. I love seeing everybody's smiling faces. And listen, when you're having what I call a poopy day, it's okay. You know, get your focus back on track, master what's bothering you, and let's go. Okay?
Wow, Coach, thank you so much. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, that was big. I'll never forget the first time I stepped out on the stage of a couple of thousand people. You talking about uncomfortable. I mean, out of my comfort zone. So this industry has definitely taught me how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Thank you for that message today. And I actually lied. I was like on the bottle of Rejuvenex. That wasn't what I said yesterday. But Andrea Rosser's on, so I'm going to give away a bottle of this too. You're talking about the squirrels in your head. Like
I got them. I swear.
In my head or something. I'm going to give away two books today. Okay. I'm going to give away 2 books. The Power of Positive Leadership by John Gordon. If you've never read that book, I bet I've read it 10 times.
He's awesome.
It is a powerful, powerful tool to use and reflect on. So I'm going to give away that first. So let's have a little fun as we end the call today. Let's hashtag